This kind of started off like any other day. I got up, I felt a little bit tired. I'd been coming to the gym alone for a couple of weeks because my spouse was out of town. But in this particular day, he was home. And so we got in the truck and we drove to the gym. And I was feeling okay during the start of the exercise. And I think it was about halfway or 3/4 of the way through class that we were doing an exercise and we were punching into the pads and running across the room over to the bags. And by the end of the exercise, I finished punching Matt's pads and I felt really, really dizzy, like unlike anything I've ever felt before. And I just said to him, and I don't think he heard me, I said, I feel really dizzy. I need to go sit down. That's my bag right there. Second one from the end. And I never made it.
I've taken first aid training many, many times because of my job. And so I'm familiar with CPR and the use of an AED. There was a terrible emotion attached to this one because this was not like first aid training with a dummy on the floor. He might have been a dummy on the floor. I just remember starting chest compressions and I still don't think in that moment anybody in the room really knew what was going on.
We were halfway through the fitness class at the time. I was doing administrative work up at the front desk when one of our members came out and told me there was a medical emergency. I ran directly into the gym. I could see, the crowd of people that were around Scott at the time. And at first, when I came up to him, he was in the recovery position with his back towards me and he was facing his husband, Matthew. Somebody had mentioned he was having a seizure. That's kind of what I was looking for at first. And then once he was rolled over and I could see the color of his skin, I knew we needed to call 911.
It felt like time was standing still. And because it was my spouse, I started to panic. I thought he was going to die on the floor. And our son, who's 15, was home at the time. And I just remember saying, while I did those compressions, that Chase is home alone and we need to go home to him.
I ran back to the front desk to get my phone, called 911. So I stayed in the lobby, which I'm grateful I did, because as I looked around, I saw the AED and I sent one of our other coaches in with the AED who brought it to Corey.
One of our coaches, as I was kind of waiting to see if anyone wanted me to jump in to help with CPR, they came and handed me the AED, and I'd almost forgotten that we had one at the time. But I'd used an AED in my first aid training in the military before. I knew it was pretty simple, just turn it on and follow the instructions. And after a few minutes of CPR, we put the AED on Scott and then zapped him, for lack of a better term.
Just as the AD was assessing if another shock was needed, that's when Scott started to wake up and he started reaching out and, we could see the color coming back and his eyes opening. And just as he was waking up, that's when we saw the ambulance coming in to the gym. So it all happened very quickly, but also very slow at the same time.
I think it's just a big relief that there was a positive outcome, to be able to see Scott leaving and talking and actually cracking jokes on the way out the door
Yes.
with the paramedics, and to know that things were going to be okay was a huge relief.
I think people need to understand that AEDs need to be available. It's stressful in the moment, but they really are designed to be foolproof, and people shouldn't be afraid to get one in an incident like this.
You're stressed, you're overwhelmed, there's a lot happening. So the fact that it actually talks to you and talks you through everything, what to do, I think is really incredible, because I've done CPR AED training every 2 years for a decade before this happened. And when you're doing the training, you're like, oh, I can do this. But like, it's easy, But when you're in the moment, it's so good to just have someone or something, your AED, telling you what to do and walking you through the steps. And it gives you that confidence that you're not skipping something or missing something.
Before this incident, I was the trainer on my son's hockey team. And, it's something that you think about as a trainer when you walk into a new arena or facility. But after this incident, it became so much more highlighted where's the first aid kit? Where is the closest AED in the event of an emergency? And people should think about that, not to put fear in people's lives, but to reassure people that they are there. And I think having them registered and having 911 operators have the ability to direct you to the nearest one is critical and will most definitely save lives.
Don't be afraid to use them. They're really simple. They're easy to follow the instructions. To know that there's a local business within a block or 2 blocks that you could go to and have somebody go grab the AED while somebody else does CPR. I mean, it could be a complete, game changer for the situation and the outcome. More businesses should have them.
It's important to know where they are and how important they are. AEDs can save a life.